People excel in technology, people excel in cultural activities, they do sports. But many of us also go and use substance and abuse it to feel that part of loneliness.
All kinds of nonsense. It requires, first of all, empty free time.
Everybody promised me that IIT is a good place, go enjoy. I came with the purpose of enjoying it to the fullest.
That would be such a tragedy because there was so much more you could have absorbed from the campus. Instead, you chose substance abuse. But these are things that can no more be left to the discretion of the fresher. 17, 18-year-old, and you are telling him the facilities are available at the hostel and elsewhere. Do it if you want to do it. You may find that he never picks it up on his own.
So in your book, you have mentioned that loneliness is the first teacher. So if loneliness is the first teacher, why we fear facing loneliness?
Loneliness is a great teacher. The question is, are we able students? Loneliness is a great indicator that you are missing meaning and purpose in life. It's like being in a burning house and saying, well, there is no purpose in life. The house is burning, there is an obvious purpose.
Given distraction in your pocket, I'm talking about mobile phones and information overload in the world. Is it really possible to one connect with himself and really find meaning in his life?
How is the mobile phone a distraction? I am on the mobile phone not less than 6-8 hours a day. It is my weapon. It is my ammunition. So much good is possible using Instagram. That 30 seconds or 90-second format is a beautiful one. What does Sri Krishna narrate to Arjun? Long essays, shlok, mantra. How large are they? That's the 1-minute format. And a shlok has 2 lines. The mantra can sometimes have just 1 word, and that can suffice. That's Instagram for you. What else is a doha? The highest thing delivered in the minimal of words. Done. बड़ा हुआ तो क्या हुआ जैसे पेड़ खजूर. Scroll.
Acharya Ji, for the students who come to here in their first year, they are coming from a society. So the spirit of inner inquiry or questioning what I should do is not present at the best moment when they came. When I look back, for me it was, I just completed my JE. Now everybody promised me that IIT is a good place, go enjoy. I came with the purpose of enjoying it to the fullest, without knowing the meaning of enjoying. So immediately I did not had any goal. Placements were to come 4 or 5 years after, and seniors told me that okay, placements you will be able to manage it in 1 semester. Now campus opened so many opportunities for me. Sports, this, that, this, everything, societies, clubs. I joined many of them. That offers each, so it has every bits and pieces. People excel in technology, people excel in cultural activities, they do sports. But many of us also go and use substance and abuse it to feel that part of loneliness. So a chunk of population, without a goal in mind or without the spirit of inquiry, is now abusing the substance, either alcohol or weed. And now after graduating, I can see that the impact is long lasting. My batchmates now are going through psychosis.
When did you graduate?
I graduated in 2022, sir. So because the culture offered us substance abuse in heritage also. Culture also offered us many other activities, opportunities, everything was there. But one person without clarity is choosing a sport. Maybe another one is choosing a tech or research because of his parental pressures or the past information that they have. But somebody who do not find any interest in these activities participates in some or the others, but goes towards the substance. So after the placements are over, heavily engage in substance.
See, that's something to do with the calendar itself. No way must the academic calendar afford this kind of a massive void where the student is now placed. So CGPA does not matter. Anyway, it's the 8th semester, so the CGPA cannot change by much. You are a BTech student? So in IIT Delhi, there was most of the credits in the last semester were taken up by the BTP. And you very well knew that your grade won't fall beyond a point in the BTP. So you could, as we say, chill out. So that's the way the calendar itself is framed, right? What should happen is, ideally, when the student joins the campus, these things must also have credit weightages. This should be made compulsory, but with a lot of freedom. In the sense that these many sports are listed, these many cultural activities are listed, these many literary activities are listed, these many research activities are listed, and you necessarily have to pick something from each list. And it would be a degree requirement. It would be a degree requirement. And the same thing should apply even to the last 2 semesters. All kinds of nonsense. It requires, first of all, empty free time. Free time behoves only the one who has clarity. But clarity itself is a process. You're right that the student who enters the campus comes from a society. He's not a clean slate. He is already carrying a lot of baggage, which means he has to pass through a process here. If he is entering with baggage, there has to be a process of clarity from baggage. And that process must include all those things that are left just to the will choice of the student. The process must make them compulsory, compulsion with freedom. We are not saying that you must play cricket or tennis, but there is an entire list. You must pick up something from this. And it's not for namesake. You have to show a certain level of performance. That's a degree requirement. You choose what you want to pick, but once you have picked it, you must perform. Similarly, in other things, the biggest problem is the so-called free time. Let there be no free time, because all kinds of nonsense breeds only in this free time. Have you noticed that? All kinds of stupidities and self-harming behaviors, they breed in this free time. Why must you have free time? Please tell me. Are you free? Are you free internally? Then how can you have free time? Every minute must be dedicated to something worthwhile, something purposeful. If we are born in bondages and brought up in bondages, we are not free. If I am not free, how can I have free time? Time must be used to get rid of the inner clutter, the inner bondage. Let not even be a minute left free. And you choose. You choose what you want to do with that minute. That's your choice. But do something worthwhile, because youth is a perishable good. It won't return. Even the campus won't return. But certain things that you carry from the campus can continue to stay with you, as you said. And that would be such a tragedy, because there was so much more you could have absorbed from the campus. Instead, you chose substance abuse. But also remember, it is not limited just to substance abuse. That would be covering a small fraction, a tiny minority. It is about the bigger issue of wastage of these 4 or 5 or 6, 7, 8, how many years. We just don't know what kind of privilege it is to be in a campus like this in a low medium income country. When you will be no more here, then you will realize what you have wasted.
So, Acharya Ji, I'd like to highlight two things to add on into this discussion. One is we do have NSO Health and Fitness. I'm just citing an example. And for first 2 years is a compulsory extracurricular activity. After somebody is not given allotted to NSS, NCC or any other sports, because the central facilities of sports are limited. So not everybody gets a chance to play something.
Is that so? That's interesting. How is it possible that not everybody gets a chance to play?
In that particular NSO sports, because coaches are limited.
Okay.
So there is NSO sports, and there are because campus community is huge. One batch at IIT KGP is of 2,000 students right now of UG, and complete community of students is around 16,000, 18,000 right now, as far as I recollect.
Okay.
So, and to counter this, we have facilities in our halls of residences, that's hostels. Sports, in every hostels there are sports facilities, but it is not compulsory, so to say, to play there, go and play there. So here,
See, look at a small country like Israel. Huh? Look at resource optimization and utilization. All that can happen. How big really was Germany when it waged the World War? And that too against Britain, the colonial empire. The sun never sets in the Queen's empire. Even with those little resources, much can be done. Can you think of what Israel has? Great lands, great resources. Does it have all that? But with those little resources, it is able to accomplish much. It is another matter in what direction it is using its attainments. So what you have in the campus can definitely suffice. Obviously, if at 5 p.m. 400 people rush to the tennis court, you will say there is a capacity problem. But if there can be a proper structuring and a proper allotment and utilization of resources, I suppose a lot of people will be able to participate.
so Acharya Ji, I was not pointing out to the fact that facilities are not available. They are not available at central level, but at hostel
Level they are
we
there.
have.
Yes.
But before COVID, there were a culture when seniors initially forced the second year students to go and choose something to play. So it was kind of an orientation program at KGP.
Right.
But after the COVID breaks, now there are no forceful, or if I would use this, they are not directing to play.
No, it need not come from the seniors. It must be institutional. It must be institutional. And we need that. We need that because you named COVID. Post-COVID, we do have a definite mental health problem in most campuses in India. It is there. And sports and co-curriculars and literary activities and dramatics, these things are definite mental healers. Definite. So that must become a part of the pedagogy itself. I'm sure that must be on the table. And if I get a chance, I'll maybe advise the management about it. But these are things that can no more be left to the discretion of the fresher. 17, 18-year-old, and you are telling him, do it if you want to do it, and the facilities are available at the hostel and elsewhere. Do it if you want to do it. You may find that he never picks it up on his own. So therefore, it has to be institutionalized.
So just the last follow-up on this particular thread. So let's suppose I met my juniors here right now, and somebody from third year met me, and now he is suffering from this addiction of substance abuse. So what should be the first thing that he must know?
There has to be a cell on the campus. There has to be a cell on the campus. This is not the only campus with this situation. This situation exists throughout India. It also exists abroad. But it is never allowed to turn into an epidemic.
So here, if my assumption is right, more than 30% population. And if we go till final year, during my time.
You're talking of consumption or addiction?
I'm talking of consumption right now.
Consumption you can't necessarily totally contain or ban. Maybe you can contain it, but not totally ban. But addiction is something you can definitely crack down on
So the institutional measures.
at the institutional level.
So Acharya Ji, for one thing that the students that they can themselves can do about it.
I said, have a purposeful life. Know that you have 4 years, that's all. The students can have purpose, the institution can have policies. When purpose meets policy, what you get is something beautiful.
So it will be an individual choice itself.
When it comes to purpose, it has to be individual.
Individuals.
But policy is general.
But can we develop a culture that pushes individuals towards having an individual choice?
See, culture is a social thing. When a lot of people are doing something, you start calling that as culture. Right? So culture too has to begin at the individual level itself. Otherwise, how do you develop culture? By propagating something on loudspeakers? That's not how it happens. Yes.
Sir, given distraction in your pocket, is it really possible?
Given?
Distraction in your pocket. I mean, I'm talking about mobile phones and information overload in the world. So, given that, is it really possible to one connect with himself and really find meaning in his life?
But how is the mobile phone a distraction? I'm on the mobile phone not less than 6-8 hours a day. It is my weapon. It is my ammunition. It is my computer. And it's easier and more handy than a laptop. And I don't carry one mobile phone. I carry several mobile phones. They are my workstation. How is it a distraction? I'm calling it ammunition. Please tell me. What is it that you can do on a laptop in a lab, but not on a mobile phone? The mobile phone is a powerful computer, is it not? Is it not? How is it just distraction? It depends on you. It's a powerful instrument that you can very purposefully and creatively use. It's a very powerful instrument. If some of you have come to me through the video route, the YouTube route, hundreds of the initial videos on the channel were recorded using the mobile phone. The foundation was very nascent then, and I was more concerned with those around me. Am I speaking rightly? Am I connecting to them? So we were not that particular about using expensive video cameras. So he said, fine. Who has some memory left in the laptop, in the mobile phone? So some random mobile phone would be taken and it would be used to record. Mobile phones can be put to very good uses as well. It depends totally on you. And I'm not being theoretical. I do that every day. The moment I leave this podium, the first thing I'll ask for is my phone. You'll say, no, sir, I'm not talking of the phone itself. I'm talking of Instagram. But even Instagram need not necessarily be a distraction. So much good is possible using Instagram. That 30 seconds or 90-second format is a beautiful one. It's aphoristic. What does, for example, Sri Krishna narrate to Arjun? Essays? Long essays? Is it a long speech that he delivers? These are verses. These are aphorisms. Right? Shlok, mantra. How large are they? That's the 1 minute format. That's the 1 minute format. And a shlok has 2 lines. The mantra can sometimes have just 1 word. Just 1 word. And that can suffice. And we talked of the Mahavakya. Right? Aham Brahmasmi. That's 5 seconds. That's Instagram. That's Instagram for you. So there was this attention deficit thing always there. Always. Therefore, things were narrated with as much brevity as possible. What else is a doha? The highest thing delivered in the minimal of words. Done. बड़ा हुआ तो क्या हुआ, जैसे पेड़ खजूर. Scroll. Because they knew that this is what is needed. Even Instagram can be put to good use. It's a technology, it's a method. The question is, what are you using it for? It's not about the thing in the pocket, it's about the thing in the heart. Let the heart be at the right place, the thing in the pocket will follow. The problem that you carry is not in your pocket. The problem is here, within. Correct that, and all else will fall in place. Yes.
Is that because of emptiness inside?
Sir, you have an exam to write 2 hours later. It's less likely you'd still be found scrolling. Or some of us are like... in the 99.99 percentile. So they can be found scrolling even during exams. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Life is an examination every moment. Just that you don't know that you are being examined. Therefore, you afford to waste your time. I heard that the train is the preferred mode of movement to Calcutta here. Right? You have the train to catch and you are running. Would you still be scrolling? Life is exactly like that. The train is about to leave. The train is about to leave and you have to run to catch it. How can you be scrolling while running? Please tell me. But the same phone can have the GPS. It can tell you where to reach, how to go. Do you see this? You are continuously being examined. And life is asking fresh questions every moment. Answer the questions instead of, it's almost like being in a Viva exam. Would you do that? Here is the examiner. Ask me a question. Something. It's a physics lab. Ask me a question.
What kind of question?
We don't do that, right? It's as stupid and as comical as this. We don't do that. Because then the examiner is in the form of a person, visibly present. So it is stupid to not be answering the questions and indulging in this. But life does not come in the form of one person or one situation. Yet it is always asking questions. And every question is an opportunity to make the best of life. Okay, here is a trick. When you are doing this dead scrolling thing, ask yourself, what am I not looking at? What am I not looking at? You can see only that which is on the screen, right? But trillions of bytes are not visible to you because they are not on the screen. So don't just see what you are getting, also see what you are missing. In giving my 60 seconds to this reel, what is it that I have missed out on? Just ask this question. Just ask this question. And that 60 seconds need not mean that instead of the reel, you should have been with a book. Even among those reels, there are massive separations of grades. There is a great difference between reel and reel. In looking at this reel, what is it that I have missed out on? That's the question you must ask.
Pranam Acharya Ji. This year alone, we have witnessed several suicides. And
This year?
this year alone, we have witnessed several suicides on campus.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also lost one of my friends.
Oh.
So in your book, you have mentioned that loneliness is the first teacher. So if loneliness is the first teacher, why we fear facing loneliness? And how can one sit with that loneliness? Because loneliness often brings this deepest emotions and most painful emotions. So how can one process those emotions?
Loneliness is a great teacher. The question is, are we able students? Loneliness can teach, but do we learn? What does loneliness tell us? Loneliness tells us that there is a big gap in life, that there is a vacuum. And why is that vacuum existing? Probably because we do not have a good enough, big enough purpose in life. And therefore, that gap, that void, we want to fill with maybe a person. In general, as language goes, if you don't have meaning in life, you won't say you are lonely. If you don't have great work in life, you will not say you are lonely. If you don't have understanding in life, you again won't say you are lonely. But if you don't have, let's say, a girl in life, you will say you are lonely. That's the problem. You are lonely not because you don't have a friend or a boy or a girl. You are lonely because you don't have meaning. You are lonely because you don't have purpose. And as we are, the human being, and as this world is, if you know a little bit of yourself and even a little bit of the condition of this world, it is impossible to not to have meaning. You will have meaning. This is the age of the sixth mass extinction. We are all going extinct. The entire ecosystem of life is being obliterated. We are very special people in a very special age, the Anthropocene. How can you have no meaning in life? How is it even possible? How is it possible? It's like being in a burning house and saying, I have nothing to do. It's like being in a burning house and saying, well, there is no purpose in life. The house is burning. There is an obvious purpose. Put out the fire or at least run and save others as well. That's the purpose. But because we have become totally insensitive to ourselves, because we don't see the condition of the human being and the planet and on all the species, we don't see that. Therefore, there is a great void, a big emptiness here. And then we say, I'm young, where is my girl? The house is burning. The girl too will get roasted. Release her. You don't have honeymoon in a burning house, right? Do you see what is happening? Life is a teacher. It teaches through loneliness as well, definitely. Loneliness is a great indicator that you are missing meaning and purpose in life. And therefore you are running after persons. The question is, as educated, intelligent people, must you run after a purpose or a person? Please tell me. But then we want persons. I am so lonely. What do you do when you are lonely? Do you pick up a great book? Unlikely. You pick up your mobile phone and you call someone up and gossip for endless hours. That's the worst treatment you can give to your loneliness. That's the worst treatment when you are lonely. And we all do feel lonely. It's human to feel lonely. Well, you feel lonely. Why don't seek the company of the greats? And you are a privileged people. Devesh told me of the fantastic library you have. And such an old institution. We used to call it the ancient IIT. And you are still lonely. And it's been just a few hours for me in the campus, but you have these sprawling grounds and lavish facilities. And you can gym and you can play and you can swim. There is soccer, there is tennis. Everything is there that goes into the making of a beautiful person. Young, healthy, knowledgeable, loving, compassionate, beautiful. Instead of that, you want to run after a girl or a boy. Do you know what the price of these same facilities will be when you will be no more in the campus? If you join a club that offers you the same kind of facilities, it will cost you 4 to 5 lakhs annually. And even with that kind of amount, you will not get the same facilities because they don't even exist. Where will you get such a library? Where will you get? Indian cities don't really have great libraries. I don't know about this campus, but there are certain facilities at IIT Delhi, for example. Only at a couple of other places in Delhi can you find those facilities. But then you are just lying on the bed, weeping on the pillow. And this is not with respect to our friend who departed. No, I'm addressing a general question. This is not with respect to the person, the particular person you are mentioning. No, not at all. So please, this is not disrespect or offense. I'm addressing the general problem of loneliness. How many of us are able swimmers? Please tell me. Okay, fine, not this way. How many of us are not able swimmers? Now, if you are trying to swim, if you are trying to learn swimming, will you feel lonely in that moment? So when you are feeling lonely, go jump in the water. All the loneliness will be gone. That's what life can offer, much more meaningful purpose. But instead of jumping in the water, you drown in your own tears. Missing her, lonely, lonely, lonely. Think of the moment when you enter water for the first time as a learner. Can you afford to feel lonely? That's what. Or horse riding or something. Horse riding is not something you must prefer. It's a form of cruelty. But dramatics, dancing, debating, writing. There is so much that the campus offers. And now the great art of filmmaking. You have that club here on campus? And your mobile phones are actually advanced cameras today. This is not just a normal phone. This is a very advanced equipment, that which you carry in your palm. For 10 or 20,000 rupees, you have a sophisticated camera. Why don't you shoot? Why don't you edit? Why don't you come up with something meaningful? Why don't you write? When will the poet inside you find voice? I'm asking, why don't you hike, trek, travel? When will you gain some weight? How can you be 55 kgs at your age? Huh? When will you learn tennis? I'm asking. So many courses that the campus might not be offering, because in India, even the best institutions often lag behind. Why don't you join open courses? Where is the time to be lonely, sir? Please tell me, where is the time? That's the question. You come to me saying, I'm feeling lonely. I'll ask, when? Sir, do you feel lonely? When? Where is the time? Life is offering so much. And also life is demanding so much. It is offering and it is demanding. Now, instead of responding to life, I am busy in my daydreams, lost in reverie.